Is it Saturday? Happy Saturday, everybody. We are here today for the stars of Star Wars. A couple quick housekeeping items. One, please rate your attended panels and events. I promise you, I give you my word, the powers that be, they read all of those comments. Trust me, they send them to me. The charity this year is NAMI, which helps with mental health. Round of applause for NAMI. If you are able, please consider donating, even if it's just $1. Dragon Con will match your dollar, and it becomes $2, and you can do the math. A couple thank yous I would be remiss if I didn't give. First off, please give a round of applause for your hotel staff and service workers. We have folks here signing today. Please give a round of applause for our signers helping us out. And last but certainly not least, every one of our volunteers that make this happen, including the tech booth, the people behind the stage. Please give them a big, big round of applause. All right, so I know you see all these chairs. We have a ton of people from Star Wars. So you know what? Let's just bring them out and get it going. Oh, you mean you don't want to hear me talking? First up, let's bring him out, John Boyega. Next up, Diana Lee Inosanto. Very comfortable, man. Hey, we bring out the best for you. I've never seen these chairs. They don't give them to me. Up next, we have Simon Casianides. Right behind him, Emily Swallow.
Thank you, so chivalrous.
There's more. You thought we were done. We cannot forget Sam Whitworth. And you know, Dragon Con is crazy. At the last minute, they said, hey, we got one more. He's not in the app, but we wanted to bring out Matthew Wood. All right, y'all, we're going to be doing Q&A. So where are our mic runners at today? Raise your hand so we can see the mic runners.
I'm getting serious.
Tell you what. There's one. Raise your hand, mic runner 1. Raise your hand, mic runner 2. If y'all want to line up behind them, we'll take your questions. But I will start us off. I mean, it's a simple one. You've heard it 1,000 times before. What was that feeling when you first found out you got a Star Wars gig? And we'll start with John and just work our way down.
First thing I thought was financial stability is coming. All them groceries mum complained about, paid. So a great time to provide for the family, but then on top of that, an amazing opportunity to be a part of something that I grew up watching and couldn't have guessed I would be a part of it. So a huge, huge blessing.
For me, when I got the call from my manager, I thought I was being punked because I couldn't get an agent. I had a manager who was really just a dear friend for many, many, many years, and it was just surreal for me, and it was life-changing, as it is, I think, for everybody else here too. So and it's an amazing honor.
I mean, disbelief, gratitude, just I couldn't believe it was happening, you know what I mean? So then after that, I thought, are they sure they got the right guy? Because my audition was so bad. I was saying this yesterday, but after I did the audition, my first version of it, the casting director looked and said, interesting, which is never a good word. So when they called me, I said, are you sure? Can you just call them back and make sure? And they went, yes, Simon, you're fine. So yeah. And after that, just incredible, just like these guys just said, dream come true. We get to hang out and celebrate with all you guys.
I was confused, to be honest, because they were still kind of like, so this is probably something to do with Star Wars. It's for this new streaming platform, Disney Plus, which at the time, you know, who knew if that was going to succeed? But I was so excited because of the people involved and game for whatever the adventure was going to be, and it was very slowly parsed out, and now it's just such a joy to get to work with all these people, or if we haven't worked together, just to get to meet them, because everyone in this universe is incredible, and all of you are incredible. Except for Sam.
I'm very credible. I never would have dreamed that I'd have an 18-year working relationship with Lucasfilm, working on various different projects in different capacities. But it all started because my friend David Collins committed it. Yeah, David Collins.
David Collins!
Is David here? Is that him?
He's out there.
He's out there. He's a great guy. He committed an act of sabotage because he snuck my headshot into the pile for Force Unleashed. And then and that's why I got the audition. Then after the audition, he's like, how'd it go? I'm like, well, you know, I think, well, he's like, well, you got it. What? And then for the next 3 weeks, the Star Wars soundtrack was in my head nonstop. But I had no idea I thought that was going to be the one time I worked on Star Wars. I didn't know it was going to lead to Darth Maul and all that stuff. So, you know, it's sabotage.
Sabotage.
Should I say something?
Oh, what?
You know, I'm going to take your question.
I got the gig when I was 17 years old, so it was a very disbelief situation, and I was testing video games. It was my first job for LucasArts. And then over 35 years, I somehow wormed my way into doing voices for villains and making all the sound for the show. But absolute disbelief. I was a massive fan as a child, so being part of it was a dream come true. And also, George Lucas made it very welcoming, and he was just a very down-to-earth, average, ordinary billionaire that that took on a kid. So I was very happy to be part of that.
How many years ago was that?
35.
35 years. And how weird is it that later in your career with Star Wars, he just becomes General Grievous? Just happened.
From testing video games into that, where it makes sense.
Play video games,
There's
kids.
a path. There was a path. Play video games, kids, yeah.
All right, y'all, we're going to get to the fan question. So we're going to start over here on my right. Can you tell us your name and your question?
Microphone.
We'll get it sorted.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Lee. Huge Star Wars fan. Saw Empire Strikes Back as a baby for my first movie. Huge fan all the time. I love you guys all. You are all amazing. Especially John. Finn was my favorite character from the sequels. Thank you so much for bringing us this wonderful character.
Thank you.
I would love to ask all of you if you have a memorable, fun experience from the set that you'd like to tell us about.
So, any memorable fun stories? Keep in mind, this is a family-friendly panel.
Oh, it is?
We have children in it today, so...
Where the kids at?
Hey, we got kids up front, yeah.
It was a magical experience, really great. I would love to know. Maybe.
I guess I'll go. For me, the most memorable experience I had was when I had to do the fight scene in the Jedi episode of Mandalorian with Rosario. And thank you. And Dave was directing, and I remember Jon Favreau walking around being the amazing producer he is. But then Nobody told Rosario and I that George Lucas was coming to the set. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta do this fight scene. And it was, you know, George there, Doug Chang, and then it was Kathleen Kennedy. I'm like, no pressure. And I'm thinking, I gotta do this fight scene with this Beskar spear, keep Rosario safe, and just remember to just stay in the moment. But it was such an incredible moment because I remember Dave was at the monitor and John was the one that introduced me to George, and then I loved that I had to chat with him about, all the beautiful Japanese samurai movies and Kurosawa and his impact on Star Wars, and I will always treasure that day, that moment, being there with Rosario and just doing this fight scene that I didn't know at the time would determine whether or not there would be an Ahsoka spin-off. So it's an honor to have this journey. Yeah.
No pressure, right?
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure. And I get to do with these amazing people. It's incredible.
I came out in episode 3 of season 2, and the doors opened and there were these stormtroopers in front of me, and I froze. And so, and then Bryce Dallas Howard came over and she said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm having a moment." And I grew up seeing these buttons, on the Death Star and stormtroopers, and I'm a Mandalorian, and she could see I just lost it. So she went, "Look, everyone goes through this. I'm going through this now." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just need a minute." So then we did this rehearsal where we all came out blasting, but obviously at that point it was rehearsal. And at the end of this rehearsal, Bryce came over to all of us, not just me, and said, "Yes, so you don't actually all need to say pew pew." He said, "Everyone does that as well." And I was like, "This is the best day of my life." So then we did it properly, and it was amazing. But another great moment for me in all of this is to meet John, because a fellow Londoner, and I loved you in the movies, man.
Thank you.
And I loved your work before that in Attack the Block.
Thank you.
So anyway, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna hug him.
Star Wars memory is happening right here.
I think the moment when it first really started to, it blew my mind every time I went to set. I remember going to set early on and seeing Giancarlo's name on a dressing room door, and I had no idea that he was in it. And I freaked out because he's Giancarlo Esposito, and then I never saw him until a convention in Rhode Island, like a year later. Because Moff does not want to take on the Armorer, so... but I remember the last episode of the first season, because I at that point I did not have access to all the scripts. I didn't know what was going on, and all of a sudden I'm in a room, with Mando and with Cara Dune and with Greef Karga and with Grogu, and I hadn't gotten to hang out with Grogu before. And I was getting to tell Mando, like, "Look, dude, you got to take care of this little guy." And then I remember when we did ADR for that scene later, and because I am helmeted, they can change my lines however they want. And when we first shot that scene, I don't think I actually used the word Jedi to talk about Grogu, and they added that later, and it just gave me chills when I got to talk about him being a Jedi. And it's just an endless. It's so stupid. It's so fun.
The memories I have that I most cherish are all the times that I would bump into George, and you meet a lot of people in this business, and you're like, yeah, they're just normal people. But then when you meet George Lucas, I've never met a guy who changed the world over and over and over again. So for Force Unleashed, he shows up, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, I'm Star Killer," and he's like, "Yeah, all right." And then jump ahead a few more years later, and there he is at Clone Wars. "Hey, it's me again. I'm Darth Maul now," and he's like, "Yeah, we're trying to get rid of you, but it's funny how that works. You're like a cockroach. Star Wars. One of these days. And so I just keep bumping into this poor guy and say something stupid, and he would say something funny and gracious in response.
It's a pretty spot on George, by the way.
It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
It's great. For me, I think we did the prequel movies in England, a lot of them, and Australia, but one of the memories I have that was quite important to me was we went and did our scoring at Abbey Road, which is the famous studio there in London where the Beatles did all their tracks. And John Williams was there with his entire orchestra. And Abbey Road let me have the Beatles experimental room upstairs to record all the actors. So when the actors would come by to watch John play, I'd kind of be, hey, you have a few lines, you want to record upstairs? And so we'd go up there, and I got to be in this, amazing Beatle history place, and then go sit downstairs inside of the scoring stage with John Williams and his whole orchestra, unamplified, so I'm hearing it, the raw instruments coming right into me, and they were doing the credit sequence for Revenge of the Sith, which has got all the great themes in it. So I just remember sitting there and just the electricity and music and sound, which is what I do, are both very emotional, and you're not seeing it on screen, you're feeling it, and it's got this sort of subliminal way into your mind to expand the story and the scripts and all that. So I felt like that was a very powerful moment. And then, just funny enough, we all walked across Abbey Road, and I have a picture of George, Ahmed Best, myself, and Ewan McGregor doing the Beatles. Yeah.
Hey, great question. Thank you so much. We're gonna go over here on my left.
Hey, my name is Ranger. I just freshly turned 18, so I wanted to thank each and every one of you up there for being a part of the greatest franchise ever that really made my childhood. So seriously, thank all of you. Clap it up, clap it up. Being, 18, I grew up watching the Clone Wars and playing the Force Unleashed on my older sister's Wii. So I'm pretty partial to Sam up there. So my favorite, moment in all of the Clone Wars, and honestly favorite voice acting moments of all time, is ripping the Kenobi. I was wondering if you could give us a Kenobi, Sam.
The scream?
Yes, please.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
No, all right.
I want to hear it too, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, God. You too?
And you made his entire childhood, so I think you kind of...
I can rip it with you. I can hit it with you.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing. Everyone always asks me to do that. So it's, kind of like going up someone on the street and going, hey, can you scream at the top of your lungs for me?
Yeah.
Is that cool? And here's the thing. Because you've now called me out in front of all these people, and then he got on the... and that's Finn. Force sensitive, by the way. Okay.
Please don't strain yourself. You have a long weekend ahead of you. I don't want you to...
Oh, you want me to stop? Okay, I won't do it then.
Don't listen to them, do it.
Oh, look how they turn on you. Okay, all right.
I can see him in my mind's eye. Kenobi.
Only for you, kid.
Thank you so much, Sam. Check is in the mail, I promise you. All right, we also take some questions online through Discord. I have one from Discord. It's an online thing I forgot to tell y'all about. I'm so sorry. But this is from Tanahala. Is she in the room? She may be watching elsewhere, but it is her 26th birthday. So happy birthday. Oh, she's right there. Hey, happy birthday. So her question was, did any of you celebrate birthdays on set? And if so, what'd you do?
Birthday.
Our birthdays or everybody? Any birthday. What are
Actually,
Star
yeah.
Wars birthdays like?
Yeah, it was kind of,
Free stuff.
yeah.
You get stuff like that you can take. Sang me happy birthday. They brought out the cake, and then there was these other rifles from the rebels that they had around. So I took some more. And on my way back to my trailer was right next to Carrie Fisher, rest in peace. And as soon as I went into my trailer, I had my rifle and my boots. and she was getting out of her trailer, and we had a moment where we stopped. And you know, it's that moment where I'm like, Carrie, are you about to snitch? And she just gave me that look like, go and enjoy yourself, kid. Carrie Fisher does not care. She doesn't care. Great.
Yes, it's really weird. When I was on the set, my birthday, which is in May, was around the same time as Ray Stevenson, rest in peace. And, but yeah, there was always celebrating because it seemed like all our birthdays were around. So there was my birthday, Ray's birthday, I think Rosario was near there, and then Dave Filoni had his birthday shortly. So I remember Dave's birthday most because they had the black cowboy hats. And myself and Ray and Ivana, we were all wearing these black cowboy hats, like this size on the set on our first day of filming. And we looked ridiculous, but it was so much fun. And of course, John's like, okay, you can remove them now because we had to do our scene. But yeah, that's what I loved. That's what I remember.
I just remember this was one of my first days on set. It was John's birthday. And there was this big crowd of people gathered around somebody that wasn't John. And I was like, oh, what's going on over here? And it was George Lucas, you know, just hanging out, telling stories. And that was just such a, I had one of those like zoom out moments that blew my mind because I was thinking this, you know, he created, as you have lauded so much, he created something out of nothing. I mean, so many people fighting against him, so many people saying this isn't going to work. And then I just wonder what it was like for him to come on to the Mandalorian when it was first starting and to see all this ridiculous technology that now everyone's like throwing at him. And he's still, the quality of it is still incredible. I mean, the imagination is still there because so much can be lost when you have too much technology. But just getting to like watch him wax poetic and tell amazing stories was not my birthday, but it felt like it.
Clone Wars premiere was on my birthday, so that's it.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
Awesome. Great question, and happy birthday out there, yes. We'll go to my right side. Question.
Hey, I'm Ricky Bobby, greatest NASCAR driver in the world. Tony, I have some bad ribbons. I wonder if I could hand them to you and you could give them to the panel. And then I have a question for Finn. Sorry, John Boyega. John, can you tell us what it was like to shoot with Harrison Ford on your first day, and if you were nervous, anxious, and how he was to work with?
I was in Harrison's business. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid, for real. So I didn't have all of that industry, respect your elder stuff. I had all the questions. I was enthusiastic. Daisy too. I'm gonna snitch on Daisy too. It was me and him. We pretty much stalked him for the first half of the day. Of course, Harrison had his own separate space, separate training ground. So the morning of, which so happened to be the first day of him coming on the Millennium Falcon, the dude was running, like on the treadmill, like running like an athlete. So he was getting ready, me and Daisy watched by the door then, we didn't get caught. And then we saw him doing some rehearsals with Jonas, who plays Chewbacca. We didn't get caught for that one either.
John, you know we're all hearing this now. Now you're in trouble.
I'm not, you know, I'm not on contract no more. You know how it is when you get off the contract, right? So, it was just incredible to just kind of like watch how he prepares. And then it was the first day of him just coming on and doing the famous line, Chewie, we're home.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. Wonderful experience. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Great question. Wow. Okay. Left side, your question. We got it covered. Thank you so much for the question. I got it, I'll show them. Question on the left side.
I got a question for the whole panel. Would y'all want to come back in any future Star Wars series and shows? With your characters?
I'm sorry, repeat that. I was distracted. I'm so sorry.
The question was for the whole panel. Would y'all want to come back in like any future shows or movies that are upcoming in Star Wars?
Would we want to come back?
Yeah.
On the fence. Well, let me add on to that. So I don't want to speak. I feel like yes. But if you were to come back, what would you want to do? Would you want to do something different?
I want to do a Finn movie. I would come back for that.
Yeah, Finn movie.
There's in the project that we're doing now, the Darth Maul show. I'm gonna tell. I might get in. Don't panic. I might get in a little trouble for this, but we find out that Darth Maul is Finn's father.
You heard it here first.
Because it takes place. There was something growing at the back of my head. I knew it.
And the armorer is his mother.
And that clothes is his friend.
And I'm your aunt.
Well, since I've got this big family, add Mace Windu as all of our trainers.
I love it. Darth Maul show with everybody. Bring them back. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. All right, question on the right side, or my right.
Hey, so I'm a huge fan of Sam Witwer and your work both in Force Unleashed and the Clone Wars. It's probably the reason why I love video games and Star Wars. That's two things. That's why I'm dressed like this. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you're the reason why.
I don't appreciate it.
So I was wondering what aspects of your performance as Starkiller you brought to Maul. Like how do those connect in your mind?
They basically had the same training. We talked a lot about Darth Maul when we were doing Force Unleashed. I had no idea I was going to go on and play him. But yeah, you're totally sniffing it. There's a lot of similarities. Their voices are similar. Their heads are similarly shaped.
They have the same dreams.
They have the same dreams. And have actually dated the same ladies. It's weird. It's really weird. But no, there's a similarity in that their training was quite abusive and intense. Because their father figures were not the nicest people. Darth Sidious and Darth Vader. It's all good. It's all happy, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi here shows up and asks about abusive childhoods. Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, no, we talked about it a lot. In fact, you could even hear in Force Unleashed, we sort of hid some Darth Maul musical cues in there to sort of suggest that connection.
Awesome, thank you. Great question. On my left.
Hi, my name is Luke, so, I'm tied to you guys whether I like it or not. But anyways, I've seen a couple of people dressed up in here. And so my question is, do you guys have any funny stories or embarrassing or whatever stories about costume situations that you've experienced while on set and such?
Yeah, funny or embarrassing stories? Is that what we're saying? I'm writing it down. So
Either costume,
whatever you choose.
Either costuming in a show or with fans here, do you have people come dressed as you? Any funny stories around those?
I just know on my first day of filming, and I was with Ray when the big scene where Balin's breaking out Morgan, and I had these handcuffs, and he's supposed to be using the Force to, break these handcuffs off me, but in actuality, I'm supposed to be responsible for twisting my arms just a little bit to where they come off. They would not come off of me. And so every time he would come in and go, and I'm like, and I'm just struggling with these things. And then I realized later on that Dave was, on screen watching this, laughing at me, struggling. Because we had to do this 6 times, I believe. And so finally special effects came in, they worked it out. But yeah, that was my hiccup with my costume, my props.
I was sharing yesterday that, and anyone who's worn any Mandalorian armor knows this, as cool as it looks, it's really awkward. And when we were all first getting used to being helmeted and walking around, and you have no peripheral vision, you can't look down because it's a massive movement with your head and it looks dumb. So I was trying to memorize where things were. But I really wish that they would release a bloopers reel from the first few episodes.
Seriously.
Specifically in the 3rd episode, I guess, where Din Djarin and I are sitting down at the table. My very tiny table. I don't know why they gave me such a short table. Mastered my squat. But we were both sitting very carefully, and we kept like bonking helmets. And stuff like that happened all the time, and it's just more hilarious when you're playing these people who look so dignified and they're so put together. And then, you know, there's stuff in the battle scenes, there's pieces flying off everywhere. And I apologized yesterday because I suppose I'm responsible for that as the armorer. The armor is not very resilient, but I was in a hurry when I was making it for thousands of Mandalorians, so.
This is the way.
This is the way, y'all.
This is the way.
Great question. Thank you so much. I'm going to take another one from online, and look, it's a simple one. What color lightsaber do you most want to have? I know you've been asked this. I know you've thought about it, but we want to know. But whoever wants to jump in, let's start with Matthew. We'll go down there.
Oh, I said something yesterday, so I should probably say it again, right? I'm sorry.
I wasn't here,
Can
man.
I go with a different? You know what? I'm in the same space.
No, you've
I'm
changed.
I've changed since yesterday.
Yeah, you're a different guy now. Yeah.
Then I'll go with Dragon Con Purple. I like this color right here.
I've given this a lot of thought since yesterday, and I want to change my answer to George Lucas color. So the way it works is you have your lightsaber, and when you hit the activation plate, George Lucas kind of pops out, and he's like,
that's because you have to understand that the Separatists were not part of the. And it's really interesting because Luke and Vader was a father. You know.
It's plaid, then.
yeah. It's a plaid. It's a plaid colored lightsaber.
I'm sticking by my answer from yesterday, which is that I want my dog's face to pop out. Because he's half pit bull, half pug, and he's ridiculous. And I just think it would shock people so much that I would have the upper hand.
I mean, I want that one too. I do. I said yesterday I think it was Ray's. The gold one.
Yeah.
The gold one. The gold one.
Oh.
Very end.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
there.
I thought I saw that. Yeah, there. That one. Yeah. Can I, that's the one I want. I want that one. That's the one I want.
They're everywhere.
I want that one. I want that one. Yeah.
I like Mace Windu. I mean, I like purple. I do. I love purple. Why not?
Good call.
I agree. Purple on that one.
And just,
But who has the lightsaber blaster situation? Ezra?
Ezra.
Yeah.
All right, over here on my right.
Hi, I'm Ian. I was wondering what was the most difficult or challenging scene or thing that you guys had to do.
Most difficult, challenging scene, or maybe stunt, or whatever you had to do. That's for anyone.
I mean,
I'd say Rise of Skywalker with the big cavalry charge. Those were real horses under there. You know those elephant things at the end? It's like, you know, they're not using speeders. And it's just us galloping down the Starkiller base. Yeah, that was really intense because it was at least up to 40 horses.
wow.
In costume with fur over them, sweating. But these horses have worked on like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. But to add the explosion, the squibs, the stormtroopers running around, and the rebels, like it was a big action sequence. But no, I felt good doing it. I was like, yeah, cool. This is real Star Wars.
I mean, I think anytime you're doing a fight scene, whether it was on Mandalorian or Ahsoka, it was really tough because you're working with the wind machine sometimes, and then you're wearing this heavy costume with a wig, and that adds another 5 pounds to you. And so, and at the same time, you're always trying to think safety. Don't poke Rosario in the eye. You know, that was always my challenge. And then especially for me, when I was on Ahsoka, they did the transition to where she becomes, you know, the Night Sisters, you know, kind of up her skills. I had to wear these contact lenses that I realized knocked 50% of my vision. And Rosario is such a black belt in wearing those eye contacts because she has been wearing them over and over. So I was not used to that at all. And one time I bonked her on the nose and I felt so horrible, you know. But yeah, it's a challenging thing when you're doing any kind of fight scene or stunts. It really is.
We had one night shoot, which will go down in history as the most insane, mental challenging night of our lives. It was a scene where Katie comes out and rallies the two sides of the Mandalorian forces. And it was a night shoot, and there was a sequence where Grogu came out and unified the two tribes playing their two very different tribal type music.
Dancing.
And he starts dancing. And it's 4 a.m. and we haven't slept. We've been there for like 8 hours. And the level of just, I guess, sort of dislocated brain capacity, I'm sort of feeling now with my jet lag. But, I had Emily and I had Katie, I had a group of us all sitting there, and it just got very weird. And it was very difficult to kind of understand where I was, why I was there, how I got there, what bad decisions I'd made in my life to get to that point at that hour of the night. So that was a difficult night. That was but highly entertaining.
I remember, like, there were some things I expected to be difficult, and then there were very surprising things, such as just doing, I trained in blacksmithing and was so excited to do that, and then I quickly learned that space blacksmithing is different. And so I learned all these proper techniques, and then they'd be like, well, yeah, we don't really want it to look like that. And just in season 1, I had these gloves that John started calling my oven mitts because they were massive, and I couldn't actually really pick anything up with them. And then season 3, they gave me some new ones, but they were like fashion gloves, and so they were too slick. And I have various versions of my hammer, depending on what I'm doing. And the prettiest one, which they love the most, but I can't really do anything with, is about 20 pounds. And I was just holding it in this scene. It was the same sequence where we're all gathered around the fire, and it just kept sliding through my hand because I couldn't grip it, and they had to tape it to my hand. And so these moments where I'm like, this is so weird. What is that? And then it all looks amazing because there's good editing, and they saved the day. But yeah, it was all those surprising things that were very strange.
I'm hearing all these stories about difficulties, and here's the thing, I don't really have any, because I think I'm just better at Star Wars than me. I just feel like it's not hard, you just do it. No. What's unfortunately, beyond that joke, we've been in some scrapes with some Star Wars stuff, and we can't talk about it for another 10 years. But some
EA expires, but yeah.
Yeah. Like some real midnight conversations where some stuff was happening, and honestly, we're still under layers of NDA, so we can't actually discuss it. But I'm really good at Star Wars, guys.
I think coming on to the prequel movies, when we saw what the pod race was going to be, one of my first gigs with Ben Burt, who's an amazing editor, actor, sound genius, Star Wars, created all the original sound effects for Star Wars. He had me come on to create the pods, all the different pods, and what they were going to sound like. So we had to go out and record all different kinds of things, rockets and Ferraris and jet boats and all kinds of, helicopters and everything. So getting everything to sound unique, because George really wanted each pod to have its own personality. Anakin's to sound different than Sebulba's. So there was a lot of running around to get that. I mean, it was entirely fun, but also very challenging. But that pod race was a real great opportunity because they gave us a couple of laps of the race without any John Williams music, so we really got to establish the sound of what was there to accompany the amazing visual effects of those scenes. So pod race, I think, in F1.
Awesome, thank you. Great question. We will go to my left.
Hey y'all, my name is Jared, and I'm gonna hop on the Sam superfan bandwagon because big Battlestar Galactica right here, big Battlestar Galactica guy here.
I'm not that good at Star Wars, I was lying.
Well, the question is for everybody though. I know when we were talking earlier, John, you were joking about when you heard you were going for Star Wars, financial stability. But like for you guys as experienced actors, like what's it like going from like, I don't know, not budget, but like, normal level stuff like Galactica or something to like Star Wars, like the you know, no
Did you
budget.
hear what he
then
just
you
did
feel
to
it.
Battlestar Galactica? Did you hear that?
To be clear, I'll live and die by Battlestar Galactica, to be honest.
You know, if Eddie were here, just
I'm
saying.
sad I missed Katie yesterday, to be
Oh,
honest.
Katie
Thursday,
was.
to be honest.
Oh, you imagine?
So what's it like to go to a Star Wars level budget, no shade to any other show or property, we love them all, but to go from one set to another, one project to such a big project, was there a transition, a shock to you or anyone?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're saying
I mean,
yes.
John, you know, like,
Yeah, they had.
huge movie.
I mean, they had. It was just bigger. Everything is big. It doesn't matter what country you're going into. You're meeting kings and governments just to have fun. You know, Star Wars is such an influential thing to different cultures that it really disrupts a place when you go in with such a big crew. And one movie is like a small little town of people. I think it really became like apparent to me on my first ever day. JJ drove us out into the desert. I was like, where we going? He goes, I want you to show you the set. I'm like, the set in the desert? All right, budget. We get there, down full life-size TIE fighter, skid marks in the sand, going back a good few yards. Everything is on fire. And JJ was just like, I told you we were Star Wars. I'm like, I really am in the real deal. Like, it's just massive and big. But I think fundamentally on set, you're still an actor and it's still about the simplicity of the craft and representing the character. But you just have to wait for the helicopter with the camera on it to go by. Yeah, it's just a massive experience.
Yeah, I second that, and it is overwhelming. I remember my first day on the set, and Jon Favreau was giving me a tour of the volume with the sets, and it's kind of a shock to the system because you start to have almost this out-of-body experience, like I'm in Star Wars,
Yeah.
and then it really hit me how serious things were because I remember there were different buildings. I don't know, Emily, if you want to talk about the two buildings. Did they cover you guys up with the black cloaks?
Oh, yeah. I call them our
And they-
cloaks of
And they're
invisibility.
looking out, and you have wardrobe, and everybody's looking up to the sky. Like, are the drones? And they literally take it seriously to cover you and make sure that nobody can take pictures of you, nobody can monitor you, nobody can sneak on the set. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, I think that it's a psychological moment. I think when you step onto a set, like John was saying, when you get to the heart of it, it's still acting, and you've still got to commit to that moment. And hopefully you've done the work so that you can really focus. But if you lose that focus, it hits you like gale force wind. That you're in something so much. I mean, as an actor, anything that you do, you hope to find an audience. So a lot of things that you do, you're performing and you're making a film or a television show, you go, oh, I hope this does well. It's very different when you step onto a Star Wars show or a film because you know the audience will meet you there. So that pressure on performance and choices is that much greater because you guys will turn up. So you have to get your head past that to focus on the work, and that's quite.
And to protect the storylines, to make sure you don't slip to your friends about what's coming up.
Oh, I told everybody.
That's my guy.
Don't tell anyone. I was like, Mom.
I didn't tell my parents. Yeah, I never told my parents. It was hard.
That London boy.
Don't tell Mom. Kill me. What are you saying? Like what?
Yeah, you guys mentioned backstage. We had a bunch of Brits here. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do.
That's right. All right, thank you so much for your question. We'll go to my right. Oh, what was the craft service? Was that good?
Oh my God.
Oh, you can tell I'm hungry. I'm like, craft.
Me and Oscar Isaacs. Oh Lord, we put on some weight during the movies. If you see Poe and Finn get slightly rounded for the end of Rise of Skywalker, it's because of those paninis they've got. And you get the cook there, and they make it constantly. We were back there, back and forth.
Sorry, I just was like, wait. Question over here on my right.
How's it going? So, unlike some of the youngsters in the room who asked questions before, I'm an OG fan from way back. First saw Star Wars in 1977 in the theater. Never been the same since. Let's hear it for the OG fan. So, my question is for John, and I want to preface it with, so we American Star Wars fans often identify the British accent with the evil empire, right? The evil galactic empire. So I've always wondered in The Force Awakens, was there ever any thought to Finn having a more British accent and then having his accent evolve over the 3 movies? Or was it always to use your more Americanized accent that you use?
I auditioned with both. JJ wanted to hear both. My audition scene was when Finn first meets Rey, and obviously Daisy really has a British accent. I don't know what it was. It just didn't. You wanted a difference between them, and I think JJ wanted to kind of go against that stereotype of the evil ones always having to be the British ones. So JJ asked me, "Can you do an American accent?" I said, "Well, yeah, I can actually. I've been waiting for this moment." So. Because I actually wanted to be American in it. That just, for me, felt like close to the core of Star Wars, and the creator being American, it being an American blockbuster, I wanted to be American in it. And it just worked that way, that the dynamic between Finn and Rey felt quite right. They felt slightly different, but in the same kind of universe. And so Finn just ended up having, that Han Solo-esque accent. And it was fun. It's real fun.
Love it. Thank you. Great question. I too am on the older side, so I got you. Left side, my left.
Hi, I just want to say thank you for taking time and talking to us Star Wars fans. And since you traverse such a vast different types of media in your acting, in your given genre of Star Wars, what is your favorite blooper?
Favorite what? Favorite what?
Blooper.
War?
Blooper.
Star Wars.
Oh, blooper.
Blooper. Thank you. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about bloopers. Banging your head. We all know the Stormtrooper banged his head. They kept that one in, but so any stories of a favorite blooper, slip up?
I disarmed Kylo Ren.
Yeah!
Lucasfilm, just release the tape, man. Just release the tape. the guy's saber went flying across the snowy forest. I looked up at Adam. Adam looked at me, and I said, "Mate, the script is on your side, but if this was any given day, my guy." Really funny moment. See, now they want to see it. I go,
yeah, I want to see it too.
I'll tell you, it went flying too.
Yes.
We'll see it in the Darth Maul show we have coming up, right? Where he's the dad and father. Any other bloopers, funny stories you may have that you're willing to share?
My backpack in the first iteration of my outfit was really, really heavy. It made it like pretty much solid metal. So if I sat down, which I did in the show, getting up was comical. Because I was like a turtle on its back. But I styled it out. You know what I mean? I styled it. I made it look good, but yeah, no, it didn't look good at all. I looked terrible. So by the third season, everything was redesigned, and it was like this rubber. It was lightweight, and I could move with it. But the second season was tough. I look very weird.
The only thing I can remember, when you're on the set, sometimes you're working 15, 16, 17, 18 hours sometimes, and you're so tired. So anything can happen, right? But what I remember most is I love the jingles that people would start to sing just to stay awake. So Rosario would, kick up a song, or Ivana, or Natasha, and I loved it. People would start to sing just so we all could just keep the energy up and stay awake. Did you guys do that?
No.
No jingles? Oh, okay.
Harrison saying, "Get up!"
This is push-up. You had a different motivation. Great question. Thank you so much. I lost track. Am I on left or right?
Right.
Right side. Thank you so much. Question on my right.
Hello. My name is Vincent, lifelong Star Wars fan. My question is for everybody. What is your favorite bit of lore pertaining to your characters?
All right, so now it is a question about lore. What is the favorite bit of lore about your character? And I'll tell you what, I'll tag onto that. We had a question in Discord, and we only have a few minutes left, I'm sorry. They also want to know what would be next for your character. So either or, we'll go down the line. What's your favorite bit of lore, or what would you like to see one of your characters happen next? John, I feel like I know yours, but I want to hear it.
It just may have something to do with a lightsaber. That would be. That'd be good. A stormtrooper rebellion would be good. That would be cool. But I like what Lego Star Wars did with Finn.
Yes.
I actually really liked how they expanded his story. Maybe we'll see it one day. It looks great.
I love Star Wars Lego stories. I just love being part of the Dathomirian Night Sister lore, and I just love it. I love everything Dathomir, and I love the fact that Maul and Morgan come from the same planet. You know, those kids of Dathomir. Yeah, that's what I love.
Same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood, yes.
Well, Axe Woves drove that ship into Moff Gideon. That was fun. I think it's time that Axe went and, had a little chat with Thrawn, don't you think?
Yeah!
I'd like to have a chat with him. That's what I'd like. A little chat.
I love hearing all of the theories about the Armorer because we know so little about her. And people have, and I honestly, there's not much that I know for sure, which I enjoy. But I was with Katie at, I guess it was Rebel StumCon a few weeks ago, and we did a little improv where we took audience suggestions on storylines for Bo and the Armorer. And so I just want all of you to know that now on the planet Mandalore, there is a disco. There's a Buc-ee's gas station, little known fact. Yeah. Katie didn't know what that was. She'd never been to Buc-ee's. There were dead babies floating in the living waters. That was an audience suggestion.
The living waters.
Yeah, awkward. There's a beauty salon. There's an H-E-B supermarket. So I think we're going to see all those things.
When it comes to the things that I'd like to see, Lucasfilm has been very generous in putting me in a position to maybe make some of those things happen, because I would be working on Clone Wars and I would be like, Dave, wouldn't it be interesting if this happened with Darth Maul? And he'd say, okay, Sam, all right, no. Because we can't see that, because this is not Darth Maul's show. This is, we're seeing it from Ahsoka's perspective. And I never thought for a second that Darth Maul could have a show. But now that he does have a show, and then I go, well, what about those things that I was talking about? And he's like, fine. And so we're going to have some closer contact with the character in ways that we hadn't before, which I can't tell you about. So, but you'll see it, I think, maybe. So
nice. I like that droid nightclub we had in Mandalorian, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I like that. So I think there could be a battle droid that maybe is the head bartender there, and he opens up a chain of, Rogers bars throughout the galaxy. And he can be at multiple places at once because there's multiple droids.
So it's a chain called Rogers.
Called Rogers. Yeah.
Is this like a franchise that other people?
Yeah, you want to get in on it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, as we wrap up, I want to let you all know there were a ton of questions in the Discord where everybody was showing love. They love the shows, they love this, and we legitimately just don't have time to go through them all, but there's been so much love. I want to thank you all for such great, fun questions. And please, go see everyone. They have photo ops, they have autograph signings. Check your app for the schedules. I had a chance to chat with them in the back. Everyone's great and pleasant, and I'm sure they would love to see you. So go see them. If you didn't get to your question, you can ask it at the booth. So thank you so much to the stars of Star Wars. And have a great and safe DragonCon. Thank you.